Tidur Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kita start on our topic for this week 7, judgment and order. Delivering of judgment up to setting aside or varying judgment and orders. I look at past year questions. It seems that there are not much questions, CLP lah especially for this type of questions, dia lagi banyak enforcement of judgment. Okay, soalan lebih banyak pasal enforcement of judgment, but this is for your knowledge, judgment and order. Okay, so make sure have your order with you, rules of court. Do you have it with you right now? Ada tak kat sebelah tu? Ke kau dah buat ni, dah buat tempat bersandar apa ke? Okey, order dia tengok order 42. Okey, buka sebelah tu. Buka situ. Order 42 on judgment and order. I pun buka juga ni. Order 42. Dia sebenarnya civil procedure is not that difficult. It's just that the procedural part tu macam confusing or macam banyak benda lah you kena fikir. Tapi bila benda tu you can open it during the exam, I think it's much easier. But kalau masa exam will be the first time you buka, there will be like sakit jugalah because you do not know where and when to find it. Okay, order 42. Ada berapa order? Ada berapa rules? Ada berapa sub rules order 42?
13.
13. Okay, order 42 from delivering judgment up to setting aside or varying the judgment.
13.
Alright, so these are the important cases for judgment and order. These 2 pages. Okay, the governing rules. Okay, this is governed by order 42, rules of court. Definition, macam biasa we start off with definition. So basically judgment and order, sometimes they are used as interchangeable terms. But basically ada beza lah between those two. So basically when a decision brings finality to an action, it is termed as judgment. For example, default judgment, summary judgment. Okay, but where the decision of the court is only interlocutory in nature, it is more readily referred to as an order. For instance, order to amend pleadings, order for discovery. So basically that is the difference between those two. In Janab case to civil procedure in Malaysia and Singapore. Alamak, laju pula. So basically in this case the court held that a judgment is obtained, a decision obtained in any other in an action and other decision. This is stated in the case of Onslow and Commissioners of Inland Revenue by Lord Usher. Okay, inspection of judgment. So basically a judgment, I think I remember ni siapa nama? Imran asked me whether the judgment is given on that date, on the last day of the hearing, or it can be done on the day the court will give a date for judgment. It can be, in practice, it can be either those two. Okay, so basically the inspection of judgment, the public is entitled to a copy of the judgment upon payment of prescribed fee. This is by order 42, rule 2A. Order 1A, judgment delivered in respect of proceeding are not available for court inspection except with the permission of the court. And then the form of judgment is stated in order 42 rule 5. Basically, this form 75, it prescribe the particular judgment, so the judgment must be in that form. Okay. Can we have a look at form 75? Form 75 at the back, they prescribe a certain type of judgment. You can look at form 75. What page is it, form 75? Look at your rules of court.
560.
Huh?
560.
560 and buku lain kot. Okay lah. So in my book is at page 346. So basically you have all sort of judgment in default for liquidated demand, for movable property. Okay, so those are the types of judgment. Okay, the different type of judgment of dismissal. Okay, up to judgment for cause. Okay, it's stated in order form 75. Okay, judgment require, it can in the judgment it can require some acts to be done, and then there are also time for doing it. Is stated in order 42 rule 6 rules of court. So basically, subject to paragraph 2, a judgment or order requires a person to do an act must specify the time after the service of judgment or order, or some other time within the act is to be done. Okay, where the act require to do is money or give possession or any movable property, a time within which the act is to be done need to be specified in the judgment. Okay, all right, but it shall not affect the power of the court to specify a time. Okay. And the judgment and order must state the time within which the act must be done by an omission. To do so may be cured by a subsequent order. If the judgment does not include a time which the time must be done, it can be cured by a subsequent order. The cases are Riwat, Cotton and Hitachi. So basically in this case of whatever wrong omission, it can be cured by a subsequent order, meaning you need to do a different order after the judgment, then that order, that new order stating the time, okay, will cure that omission. Okay, and then next is failure to cure such omission may render the judgment or order invalid. Okay, and the person affected by the judgment or order may apply to have to set it aside as of right. This is stated by the case of Hitachi sales. So basically, if there is omission in your judgment, if you do not do anything to cure it, so it may render the judgment or order invalid, and the other party may apply to have it set aside as of right. So you must make sure when you got judgment, make sure it is correct, no omission. If there is any omission, you cure it by a subsequent order, or else it will be invalid, and the other party may ask the court to have it set aside. Okay, so meaning after the end of the hearing, the lawyer's job does not end there. You must make sure that the judgment and order, whatever, must be fulfilled. Okay, where judgment order specifies a time, it must be personally served within the time. This has stated in the case of resale and Iberian Trust. Okay, the time is important. Okay, and then where judgment or order for doing an act must be enclosed with a notice under order 45 rule 7 sub 4. Okay, and form 82, failure to comply would prohibit enforcement proceedings, because after judgment there will be enforcement of the judgment. The case are OK, RST Arumuga and the Vanda. Okay, look at form 83. Okay, so basically form 83 is at the back. Okay, it states what? What does Form 83 states? What is it about? What's the title of Form 83?
Notice on certain judgment.
Okay, all right. So the judgment must be where a judgment for doing it must be included with a notice under Order 45. So you must come up with this notice. Huh? The notice is Form 83, notice on certain judgment. Okay. For doing some act. Okay, it's not that long. It's okay. So basically, if you disobey the judgment, you'll be liable to process of execution. Okay, you must have this notice. If the judgment require a notice by order 45 rule 7 sub rule 4. Alright. And then date upon which the judgment and order takes into effect. It takes effect from the date of its date. Okay, such judgment order delivered by the High Court shall be dated as of the date on which it is pronounced, unless the court's orders it to be dated as of other time earlier or later date, in which case the case shall be dated on that other date. Okay. Next is power of the court under Order 42, Rule 7, Sub Rule 2. Look at Order 42, Rule 7, Sub Rule 2. What does it say? What is it about? The date from which a judgment or order takes effect. So it's the one that I told you just now. It should be on the day it is pronounced, unless earlier or later, and it should be exercised, okay, with good grounds. Okay, the case is Yeo Kim 1. Preparation of judgment or order. So basically this is stated under 42, Order 42, Rule 8. Okay, if it's represented by a solicitor, or a copy of the draft shall be submitted for approval to the solicitor of the other party. Ah, tak dengar ke?
Bukan. Doktor pasang, doktor refer slide juga doktor?
Ah, asal tak keluar?
Slide tak move. Kami masih di slide 6.
Nampak tak?
Ya.
Okey,
Slide
betul.
12 ya.
Pasal I pakai office punya ni tau. I pakai office punya line.
Dia tak mana dia ni?
Okay, nampak?
Dia nampak.
Okay, so nak prepare judgment and orders ni basically the lawyers will draft the judgment and order. So basically we draft it, okay, and then the party in whose favor judgment order is given, if he is represented by a solicitor, a copy of the draft shall be submitted for approval to the solicitor of the other party within 2 days of the receipt. And then if the case may be allowed by the registrar, return such copy with his signed consent or any required amendments. And then if the solicitor omits to return the draft of the copy, he shall be deemed to have consented to the content of the judgment or order. So if it's important, later when you are the solicitor by one plaintiff or the defendant, is for you to look at the judgment and order and then give it to the other party. If the other party, you must check. If you are a lawyer for the other party, you must check whether the judgment or order is in line with whatever that has been pronounced by court or whatever that has been agreed. Or else, if you don't reply within 2 days, it deems that you have consented to the terms of the judgment and order. In any case, where the solicitor are unable to agree upon the draft, okay, they may obtain an appointment before the registrar, and then notice given to the other party to settle upon the terms of the judgment or order. So basically, this is tak dengar ke?
Kan, doktor dah slide berapa ya doktor?
Ni slide 14, nampak?
Ni. Baru nampak. Tadi tak bergerak.
I rasa ni lah dia punya pakai yang besar. Maybe line pun tak bagus. I pakai slide yang kecil ni, nampak tak?
Saya rasa doktor tak perlu slide show. Maksudnya
Okay,
tengok
ni
di
je lah.
tengok kat sini je.
Okay. So the judgment or order shall be settled by the registrar. Okay, so basically judgment order, but in the case of judgment or order made by judge or magistrate, any party may require the matter in dispute to be referred to the judge. Okay, this is among things that you can do. Usually you settle with the registrar, but you can settle it later with the judge or the magistrate. Okay, these are the cases Para Sumara and Sangli. Okay, where the other party has no solicitor, the draft shall be submitted to the registrar. Drawing upon entry of judgment on order and duplicates, these are stated by order 42, rule 10 and rule 11. Okay, let's have a look at rule 10 and 11. Orders to be rule 10, drawing up and entry of judgment and order. Okay, and then duplicates of judgment and order, these are stated in order 42, rule 11. Can have a read on your own. Basically, it's straightforward. Next, interest, is common for judgment and order to have interest. This is stated by order 42, rule 12. So basically, every judgment that such shall carry interest, as the Chief Justice may from time to time determine. And rate not exceeding the rate of forfeit as the court determines. Is calculated from the date of judgment and until the judgment is satisfied. And then, can the court award interest at more than the prescribed rate if the rate of interest had been agreed upon by the parties? This is stated by the case of Lee, Time, Xiong and Hong Leong Finance. So basically, the court can award interest more than the prescribed rate, but upon agreement of both parties. However, a post-judgment interest rate, which in excess of the statutory provided by Order 42, Rule 12 and Section 16 Court of Judicature Act, it is illegal and would entitle the court to set aside the judgment acts. There be should just stay unless the plaintiff can prove that he is entitled to a higher interest rate. These are the cases: Kong Ming, Integrated Ritz-Carlton. Order 42, Rule 12A, basically late payment or charge debt arising from financial transaction in accordance with Sharia. This is a different provision for transaction in accordance with Sharia. So because what? Because Sharia basically, I think 12A is usually when they have AA there, so there's amendment. Because on Sharia transaction you cannot basically charge interest, but you can charge late payment charge. Setting aside or vary judgment and order. So basically, you can set aside or vary any judgment and order. The party intending to set it aside or vary such order, you must make your application to the court, serve it to the other party who has obtained the order or judgment. If you are the other part, the party who wants to set aside or vary judgment order within 30 days after the receipt of the judgment or order by him. This is stated by Order 42, Rule 13. Cases are Chong Kiat, Ramlan bin Kamal, Han Seng and Hong Hui. So basically, these cases you can read it from your textbook civil procedure. By Jenna. Next, apart from amendment allowed under slip rule, have I mentioned this slip rule? You can make any amendment think I mentioned it. Or maybe I need to, I will teach you more next week on enforcement or judgment. So basically, apart from amendment allowed under slip rule, is stated under order 20, rule 11, rules of court. Okay, have a look at order 20, rule 11, rule 11. Or else maybe you don't look at it later yourself. Look at order 20, rule 11. Sekejap. Kalau tak, kau tengok atau tidak lepas ni. Order 20, rule 11. What does it say? Apa dia tulisnya? Ashraf. Ashraf, tidur ke? Abdul Had.
Ya saya.
Ya, berapa tadi madam? Berapa tadi madam?
Order 20, rule 11.
Ya Allah.
Jumpa?
Jumpa madam. 20
Ah.
11.
Cuba kau baca.
Dia kata clerical mistake in judgment or order or error arising therein from any accidental slip or omission may at any time be corrected by the court by a notice of application without an appeal.
Okay, this is called as slip rule for any clerical mistake in judgment or order. For any accidental slip or omission, this is slip rule. So you do it by notice of application without an appeal. So next time when I ask you about what slip rule is, this is the slip rule. Amendment of judgment and orders, order 20 rule 11. Kod lah kan, nak keluar exam kan. Kau goreng lah kat situ. Hok Hua Bank and Sahari bin Murid. Okay. Next. Mui
Madam.
Bank. Nampak tak nampak?
Tak, madam nak tanya contoh-contoh clerical mistakes tu among others ni apa, madam?
Apa?
Contoh clerical mistakes tu among others dia macam
Contohnya nama orang tu eja salah. Nombor IC dia salah. Order amount dia salah letak. Hilang satu kosong atau nama dia Muhammad. Those kind of clerical mistake.
terima kasih, madam. Boleh.
Okay, next is Mui Bang and Chia Kim Yu. Okay, so basically our notes is based on our syllabus plus the CLP syllabus outline. So it's nice. Okay, so basically it covers everything. So USIM syllabus is very good for FSU. Okay, Mui Bang Chia Kim Yu. So basically application to intervene in the present proceeding. So basically this is another issue. Certificate of sale has been completed. After a week after the issue of certificate of sale of the auction sale was completed. So basically after that they make an application to intervene in the proceeding. The learned judge was clearly functions official. So because basically it's already at the judgment and then they ask for auction and then there was already certificate of sale and then afterwards the parties make application to intervene. Ni kes jual rumah lah ni, jual rumah lelong. The learned judge was clearly functions official. Okay, following the case of Hok Hua and Sahari Murid, the learned judge was functions official after he made the order for sale. In Hok Hua case, the allegation of fraud and forgery were made after the judge has made the order but before the auction sale. Okay, and the federal held that the judge was official after he made the order for sale in the foreclosure proceeding. Okay, true, after making order for sale, the judge has the power to make other orders, including changes, reserve price, and sales date. But such orders are consequential to the order for sale. The point here is that the order for sale is a final order unless appealed against. Okay, once the order for sale is made, drawn, and perfected, the learned judge is functions official and therefore has no power to set aside the order for sale. Order for sale ni kes apa ni biasanya? Kes lelong rumah tak bayar, loan and then lelong. Once the landlord connected with landlord, once the judge has already issued certificate of sale, so the judge was functions official, so it's finalized. Okay, unless if it's finalized, meaning he has no power to set aside the order for sale. This is stated by the case of Moi Bank. Next, in the case of Badiadin, this is for discretionary to set aside the order. Acts they show that just the same cases involving orders which contravene any written law. Okay, so basically the exception is that the contravention should be one which defies the substantive statutory provision that made the defective order null and void on ground of illegality or lack of jurisdiction. Okay, so basically this is the only exception whereby the court were allowed to set aside the order. Kalau misalnya the final order which has contravened any procedural requirement, it shall not be applied. Okay, the discretion to invoke the inherent jurisdiction should be exercised judicially in exceptional case where the defect is so serious in nature that a real need to set aside the defective order in order to do justice. Okay, bagus juga buat soalan exam. In what cases? Tapi nasib soalan exam dah buat. Kalau tak, masalah you all. Tiba-tiba pula I ada idea. Tahun depan lah buat soalan macam ni. Okay, so basically in setting aside the judgment or order, okay, there are exceptions. The exception is not that easy. If it does not follow the procedural law, it should still be okay unless if it's on ground of illegality, lack of jurisdiction, okay, or serious in nature, enable so defective order in order for the court to do justice. That is the only time where the court can vary the judgment, vary or whatever, change the judgment. That is for special exception. Okay, court has further to explain the legal version in this case, Syria Asia. Okay, and then the case of Ang Game Hong, the federal court ruled that an order made in breach of natural justice, okay, it can, so that the person affected can apply to have it set aside, and these are other cases. So those are the cases when the parties can apply for the judgment or order to be set aside. Next, again, another case of application to set aside an order of a superior court. It must be made in a direct and specific proceeding. For that purpose to be in the same proceeding or a separate one. It could not be contested merely by raising it as defense in a suit. being undertaken in this appeal. Okay, this is 2019 case, quite recent. Anju, and also the recent case of Ang Game. Can you please take note of these two cases and download it and put it in our Facebook or in our attachment here in apa ni? In Teams, boleh? These two cases, Anju sebab dia case yang recent 2019. Hello. Hello. Semua ada kat sini?
Ada.
Okay. Ni dua case 2019 and 2020 ni letak dekat dalam Teams kita as a file ataupun dalam Facebook, boleh? Boleh cari tak?
Boleh,
Okay,
Doktor.
Alright. Lagi satu ni menuntut janji ni. Last time our artikel, ingat tak ada 2 ke 3 artikel daripada slide lepas. Saya suruh letak dalam Facebook atau dalam team ni. Tak ada pun yang tengok. Kan nak kena bagi nama. Nantilah lepas ni kita cara ya. Okay, next. Next slide. Okay, the case of Lai Cheng Oi and Lim San Pen, the rule that the principal, the judge has no power to set aside of another judge of concurrent jurisdiction does not apply to ex parte orders. So basically in ex parte orders, okay, they can order to set aside an order of a judge of a concurrent jurisdiction. Okay, but prior to the order of judgment being drawn and perfected, the courts retain absolute jurisdiction to alter, vary or modify or set aside its own judgment or order. These are the cases. We have recent Syarikat Mara Jaya. So basically the doctrine of functions official does not apply to cases where amendment of order is sought. So amendment lain lah. Functions official ni, the court has power to amend its order depending on the facts and justice of the case. This is stressed in the case of Subramaniam, 2017. Alright. Banyak juga case on this very and earlier order. As long as the order has not substantially altered or to make it entirely new order. Te and sang and time. Alright. And there is a jurisdiction to make upon proof of new facts and order supplemental to an original order. This also can be done. There can be an order supplemental to an original order. Ford, Han and Sink. Next, varying a consent order. Consent order. What is consent order? Asal siapa tu consent order? Any idea? Consent tu apa? Alia? Wan Suhaili, consent tu apa? Consent order tu apa-apa? Apa rasa-rasanya? Agak-agak lah. Fadil. Consent order tu apa rasa Fadil? Senyap je. Ada tak ada tu?
Ya, macam mutual agreement before mutual agreement yang telah dipersetujui sesama partis ke doktor?
Ya. Dia bukannya it is a mutual agreement, bukannya mutual agreement sangat, dia agreement tapi dia ni penghakiman persetujuan. Selalunya dia malas nak pergi court yang full trial tu, so bila full hearing start, dia duduk, lawyer plaintiff and defendant duduk, okey lah, dia mengaku dia hutang, and then they have this consent order. So basically dia recordkan, it's put on a record and then they file as a consent order. So basically kata I agree, kata hutang setengah juta, I agree to pay 10,000 per month for 12 berapa lah, tak boleh nak kira, okay, untuk 12 consecutive months ke. So that is recorded and file, give to the other party and file in court. Dia agree lah, soalnya they don't go through the full hearing. Consent order, dia bukannya agreement sangat dah tu, sebab dia dah make an order. Agreement in the sense that dia agree to the terms and condition, okay lah. Okay, satu yang kita biasa dengar judgment in default kan, of appearance. Ni kita pun ada consent order, dua-dua parti agree, soalnya kes hutang lah. Kes hutang, duduk, instead of pergi full trial, bergaduh-bergaduh, they agree, okay, this is the amount that we are going to pay. Alright, consent order.
Kalau yang consent order ni pun still boleh untuk kita amend juga ke, yang ikut rule 13 tadi?
Rule 13 tu yang mana? Yang
varying judgment.
Oh, varying judgment.
Ya, so kalau yang consent order ni pun boleh juga ke?
I rasa iyalah, sebabnya tajuk dia pun varying consent order. Maksudnya they want to vary, dia nak betulkan lah, maksudnya boleh lah dibetulkan. Kadang-kadang dia keadaan dah berubah. Contohnya dulu dia agree to pay 1,000, lepas tu dia dah kena buang kerja ke, and then they want to vary, provided that the other party agree, they can vary lah the consent order. Boleh juga. Okay, even the judgment of the court pun boleh vary kan, after lagi consent order between the parties. Boleh. So the cases are Oisiu Yo and Zainuddin bin Muhammad and Jasser Keramat. So basically it's akin to a contract with super at the command of the court. It gives its full contractual effect. It is to be interpreted in the same manner as the court would a contract. Okay, so basically inilah. So basically this is stated by the federal court in Kamil Azna, Abdul Razak and Amanah Raya. Boleh. Dia macam you go enforce the contract but with varying terms. Soalnya terms dia kita ubah sikit lah. Dulu kata kalau original contract kata bayar 2,000, consent order ni sebab orang tu tak boleh bayar, katalah bayar 1,000. Dah buat consent order tu pula nak pula vary pula, boleh juga. Okay, bayar 1,500 ke. Ni slip rule, the slip rule that I mentioned just now. Okay, the cases for slip rule, Carter, Tay-An, Phillips, Hotel Ambassador, ni banyak. Evans and Butler, this is the famous case lah for slip rule. I think macam ada keluar somewhere lah slip rule ni, so baca. So baik baca, okay. Ni I bagi hint ni, siapa yang datang kelas hari ni. Alright, this slip rule is important. Okay, and then accident omission sufficient to bring slip rule into operation, and then the court has power to amend the order for declination under this slip rule even after it is sealed. Okay, committal proceeding is when the parties do not abide by what have been agreed, what have been put in the judgment order, they can be liable for committal proceedings. Ni ada even the latest case, Utaya Kumar and Abdul Wahab Abdul Qasim. Ni pun kena cari ya, ada 3 cases that I ask you to download. Okay. Committee proceeding order 52 rule 3 sub rule 2. Mari kita tengok order 52. Have a look at order 52. Jom kita tengok order 52 rule 3 sub rule 2 application to court. Okay, no application to a court, rule 3 sub rule 2. An application for such leave must be made ex parte to the court. Ini cara dia macam ni nak buat committee proceeding. Okay, by a statement stating out the name, description of the applicant, the name, description, address of the person sought to be committed and the grounds on which committal is sought by an affidavit to be filed before the application varying the facts relied on. Okay, this is how you do committal proceedings. Basically, if you do not follow any of the whatever agreed for judgment or order. Committal proceeding, okay, this is the procedure. So we got 3 cases here. Done. Kan senang kan, tak susah kan judgment and order, cuma slip rule lah. Slip rule tu penting. With all the cases, you need to read all those cases. And the 3 important cases, 2019 and 2020. Boleh download. Alright, korang ni ada ke tidak ni? Ke dah pengsan je ni? Sonyap je, risau je Dan.
Ya, doktor.
Okay.
Ada doktor.
Ha, you over.
Doa, madam.
Ada je. Ngajar online pun connect connect. Alright. So I tokan lagi ni, this is next week topic, tapi sebab kita ada lagi sejam judgment and order done, kita move on to enforcement of judgment. Okay, judgment debtor order. These are among judgment that we can enforce. Judgment debtor order, the cases. Alright. So basically enforcement of order or order for payment of money, for possession to person resident outside territories, for possession of immovable property, delivery of movable property, to abstain, requiring act to be done, okay, service, okay, so this is what we are going to cover. This is important topic for your exam purpose, enforcement of judgment, okay. And order is order 45. Tengok kejap order 45. Tengok order 45 kejap. Ada berapa ni? Ada berapa rule? Wafi. Order 45 ada berapa rule?
Ada 20 rule kan madam, tak silap saya lah.
Pandai je kau. 20.
13.
13. Okay. Enforcement of judgment and orders ada 13. Okay, and then next tengok order 48. Order 48 ada berapa rule?
Tiga.
Order for examination of judgment debtor 1, 2, 3. Okay. Alright, we start with order 45 first. Ni nak enforce the judgment. This is how you go about doing it. Because once the judgment is obtained, you need to enforce the judgment. Okay. Time limit for enforcement of judgment. Kalau Sabah, Sarawak, dia pun ada lain ya. Section Sabah tu Section 63 Limitation Act 1953 ada Limitation Ordinance, and Section Part 5 of the Schedule Sarawak Limitation Ordinance Chapter 72 and Chapter 49. Okay, siapa ada buku, apa nama ni? Buku siapa namanya ni? Ni, saya pakai buku satu lagi, Enforcement of Judgment. Let's have a look. Usually when I'm teaching you, I'm trying to make things easy. Sebab kadang-kadang benda tu macam yang I tahu, you all belajar ni mesti you rasa serabut sikit tak? Sebab dia banyak prosedur kan, Ashraf?
Betul.
Dia macam serabut sebab banyak prosedur, tapi cuba you clearkan mind you. So basically kalau you ada masa you baca semua yang ikut yang I sebut tu, yang I sebut dalam kelas tu, kan kita tak ada baca sepenuhnya, but when you need to do your own reading because I will highlight the important things in class. Otherwise yang the detail tu yang lebih tu you kena baca dekat dalam rules and also with the cases. I highlight the important cases and the gist of from the cases je. Okay. Tapi special procedure ni bila I belajar, I remember I akan belajar dekat Brickfield kan, buat CLP dia highlight macam ni lah. And then bila I cakap ni masuk exam, tu maksudnya penting lah. Okay, sebab dia ada target-target dia. Memanglah semua penting tapi for exam purpose dia lain cerita sikit lah. Okay, I want you to have a clear picture usually during my class. Clear picture bila part yang I so refer tu maksudnya penting lah. And then dia punya tu ingat tak bila I sebut ni tu procedure dia, tu procedure maksudnya penting lah. Okay. Kalau the real exam tu maksudnya tak boleh highlight tu dekat dalam ROC, tapi when you do your own study you kena highlight lah, have a separate ke apa ke to show its importance. Okay. Alright. So kena ikut flow lah baru boleh faham sikit, kalau tak macam pening. Okay, so basically enforcement of judgment dia ada macam-macam jenis ni. Okay. So basically these are the sequence. Nombor 1 limitation, time limit dia. Rasa-rasa berapa tahun? Dah belajar kan dulu time limit for enforcement of judgment. Section 6/3 subsection 3 of Limitation Act 1953. Berapa tahun?
6.
6 ke? Ha?
6 pilihan pertama. Pilihan lain macam mana korang?
Saya teka 15.
Wah, kau ni masa belajar. I rasa semester lepas saya dah sebut.
12.
Section, 12. Section 6/3 Limitation Act 12 years. Limitation period for the party to enforce its judgment. Okay. 12. Okay. Yang 6 tu, furthermore, interest accrued cannot be claimed if the party did not enforce within the first 6 years from the date of judgment was granted. Yang 6 tahun tu, Syami for interest.
Oh, okay. Tertukar. Alright.
Maksudnya kalau lepas 6 tahun kau baru nak ni, kau nak baru nak enforce, boleh lah enforce sebab within 12 years kan, tapi tak boleh claim interest. The case Federal Court in Gi, Bun Ki and Tan Pok Shong considered Daud Ibrahim. Okay, so had the word action in section could mean a fresh actions. Okay. Execution after 6 years but before 12 years is leave is necessary in case of writs of execution. Kalau writs of execution you need leave. Okay, order 46 rule 2 sub 1. Okay, cuba tengok order 46 kejap. Order 46 tadi I tak bagi tu. Order 46 rule 2 sub rule 1 tu. Kalau read of execution rule 2 sub rule 1 6 years have left, so ni untuk read of execution. Kena dapat read of execution tu apa dia? Definition is stated in order 46 rule 1, includes read of seizure and sale, read of possession and read of delivery. 3 ni. Okay, the cases are Teo, and then Teo Chi Hing, Afin Beng and M. Fraser. Okay, next. Generally, no execution against the government. Section 33(4) Government Proceeding Act 1956 and Section 35 of Government Proceedings. Kenapa you rasa generally tak boleh proceed against the government, tak boleh execution against the government? Rasa-rasa kenapa? Cuba fikir sikit tentang ni. Ada idea tak?
Sebab kalau dibenarkan akan ada banyak claim-claim terhadap government, so that's why tak boleh.
Jadi kalau apa masalahnya bila ada banyak claim against the government?
Dia akan secara tak langsung menunjukkan kerapuhan sistem kerajaan yang apa orang kata yang tengah governing tu lah. So untuk nak mengelakkan tu, untuk nak minimize that kind of thing, that's why lah tak boleh. Itu taktikal politik lah.
Okay. So tu satu, lagi satu apa? Nanti melambatkanlah kerja-kerja kerajaan ni kan, sana kena sita, bangunan kerajaan sana kena sita, sini kena sita. Nak pergi kerja macam mana? Kan? Okay. Next, discovery in aid of execution. Okay, kena buat discovery untuk execution. This is stated under order 48. Tengok order 48 pula. Ingat tak discovery tu apa? Kau dah lupa dah? Apa
penzahiran.
Apa penzahiran? Okay, kalau nak execute you boleh guna execution. This is stated by order 48. Examination of judgment. That order 48. Okay, so basically data appears before registrar to be examined. Registrar ejaan. Okay. Okay, data on examination may be ordered to pay in one lump sum by installment. Failure to complete may lead to committal and imprisonment. Okay. Next, ni yang penting sebenarnya. Dan exam macam inilah. Okay, enforcement of money judgment under ROC by writ of seizure and sale, garnishing proceeding, charging order, appointment of receiver and order 45, rule 5, order of committal, and then we move on with meaning of read of execution. The cases of Malaysian nurses. So basically for enforcement of judgment ni soalan dia selalunya standard. It can be essay, okay, fine, but usually dia bagi a scenario on how you can enforce this judgment against judgment and order has been obtained. How you to enforce against this judgment, in this case A, B, C, D. Tu soalan dia macam itu je selalunya. So you kena fikir sikit. Alright. So we start off with read of seizure and sale. Read of seizure and sale ni applicable both in respects of movable and immovable. The form is form 88. Procedure ni dia is stated by order 46 rule 1 up to rule 6. Okay, let's have a look at order 46 rule 1 up to rule 6. Tengok kejap. Order for read of seizure and sale. Rule 1. Okay, rule 1 definition of read of execution, termasuklah read of seizure and sale. Okay, leave. When leave is needed. Okay, when is leave is needed. Kalau nak tu baru sebut tadi. Ada satu tu baru sebut. When you need leave to enforce this read of seizure and sale. Lupa kah? Syami, gambar dia je yang keluar kat depan air ni. Apabila you need leave for read of seizure and sale, baru sebut je kejap tadi. Ingat tak? Yang pasal 6 tahun yang cakap tadi tu?
Lupa. Okay, yang lain ni macam mana?
Yang sebut 6 tahun tu you need a leave when 6 years have lapsed since the judgment or order for read of seizure and sale. Dah lepas 6 tahun. You need a leave. Tu yang pertama. Yang kedua ni, any change has taken place by dash. Okay, ni semua ni. All this you need leave. Application for leave to issue a read. So ni procedure dia. Rule 3. Issues of read. Okay. And duration 12 months and renewal of read of execution. Okay, this is stated by order 46. Nampak tu? Alright. Next, leave is not required or if already obtained, seizure movable subject to section 3DA and execution by the sheriff. For the appointment powers and duty of sheriff, it's stated under section 12 Code of Judicature Act 1964. And also tengok sekarang order 46 rule 14 up to rule 6 26A. Rule 14 it says about what? Rule 14 apa dia? Dia cakap pasal apa? Duties of sheriff. Sheriff, time of execution, notice of seizure and inventory. Okay, proper officer to keep records and prepare statement of account up to, ni semua pasal sheriff sampai up to 26. Habis when order suspending execution. Okay, so basically these are for read of seizure and sale that you need to know. Alright. Okay. Tapi selalunya ni antara yang boleh pakai lah when you practice later. Tapi kalau exam wise mungkin secara general sebab dia mesti mix dengan yang lain. This is for immovable property. Immovable property procedure is stated under order 47. Let's look at order 47. Order 47 tu pasal apa? Order 47.
Rates of seizure and sale.
Yeah. Okay. This is stated for immovable property. Look at rule 6 and 7. Rule immovable property dia tunjuk pada rule 6 and 7. So basically seizure shall be made by an order by the court prohibiting the judgment debtor from transferring or charging or leasing of property for the purpose of the rules. Okay, application made for order under this may be made by ex parte by notice of application, and application is supported by an affidavit. Okay. Alright, the copy of the order shall be served on the judgment debtor. And then a prohibitory order. Ingat tak ada belajar land law dulu? Land law. Okay, prohibitory order issued under this rule shall not effect any immovable property or registered interest therein. Okay. This is what is important with regard to this prohibitory order is on the issue, registration, service and duration and validity of 6 months subject to renewal, and this is further stated in the National Land Code section 334. Okay, an order made to person to an order of court. These are important cases, Ban Hinley and Peh Willy Penlatah Hak Milik Negeri 9. So basically the subordinate court has no jurisdiction to grant prohibitory order. Alright, di pasal jurisdiction. Sale of land pula, order 47. Rule 7 yang sebut lah. Rule 7 belum sebut. Sale of immovable property, how do you go about doing it? Okay, this is stated under order 47 rule 7. Okay, ini berkaitan land lah. Okay, and then pasal summons for direction. Okay, and next for sale, seizure and sales of securities pula, saham is governed by order 47 rule 8 and rule 9. Okay, have a look at rule 8 and 9. So basically this is the for securities, rule 8 on securities, rule 9 for sale of securities. Okay, you can read how to go about getting rid of seizure and sale for securities, saham. Jadi pasal tanah, immovable property, lepas tu okay, dah. Okay, next. Garnishee proceeding. Okay. Ni macam tak habis je kan. Lepas ni ada kelas tak? Ni kita baru start sikit lah ni sebab banyak lagi ni. Do you have any class after this? Yuhu.
Kalau saya tak ada kelas, ada.
Orang lain ada kelas ke? Ada. Tapi banyak juga ni. Charging order, executable execution.
Saya takut saya lost dalam yang order 47 ni, seizure and sale ni. Maksudnya prosedur seandainya court mengeluarkan order untuk seizure and sale ke?
Ya.
Betul lah tu.
So kena enforce the judgment kan. Ni rate of seizure and sale ni enforcement, how do you enforce rate of seizure and sale. So kita belum masuk garnishing kan? Garnishing lah apalah semua banyak lagi lah. We continue next week lah sebab we already half of it. Boleh? So you want to move on? Hello?
Sambung nanti.
Sebab kita dah laju sikit lah ni, kita dah moving on to half of next week punya. Dah tepu dah semua ni.
Tepu.
Kan suara jawab pun dah macam tak ada suara.
Kan doktor penat. Nak minum air lagi.
Penat lah juga ni. Aku merapu seorang-seorang. Ingat tak ponet Okay, so garnishi semua tu kita sambung lagi next week Okay, ada 3 ke 4 kes kan 2019, 2020 I suruh cari tadi kan?
Betul doktor. Doktor yang kes ketiga tu apa doktor? Saya tak sempat nak tangkap tadi.
Kes ketiga yang 2019 I rasa slide yang tadi kot bukan yang ni. Betul. Slide yang tadi ni Utaya Kumar ni. Ni paling ni ada ni. Kes 2020. Ada 3 kes download nanti tepekkan dekat Teams ni ataupun dekat Facebook boleh?
2020 apa? Dia punya citation apa dia doktor? 2020?
Kejap. Tak ni Okay, I share.
Yes, untuk Utaya Kumar saja.
Sekejap Yang artikel tu, you all take note tak? Yang last time I suruh cari pasal artikel tu, ada 3 artikel tu.
Yang tu macam tak doktor. Ni sebelum mid-sem mid-semester break.
Ada artikel dalam tu. Ni. Ni Utaya Kumar. Ni nampak tak?
Tak nampak lagi.
Lambat lah tu. Sekejap
Apa doktor just bacakan 2020 dia punya volume dia, page dia.
1 CLJ 82.
Okay, alright.
Ada 3 kes dengan ada 2-3 artikel yang suruh download. Nanti letak dekat Facebook ataupun dekat team ni Alright. Ada apa Syami? Apa artikel tak ingat apa artikel yang I suruh ni?
Macam tak ingat tapi mungkin orang lain dah ingat ke?
Ingat ke? Hai orang lain.
Artikel kat week 6 tu ke madam?
Ingat tak?
Yang council's right of choice. Waste of court time, postponement and blocking.
Aisyah dah carikan.
Ni waste of court time, postponement ni jumpa tak? Ada 1, 2. Ada 2 ada berapa Aisyah?
Ada 3.
3 kan?
Madam. Tak cari lagi.
Nanti sekejap sementara I dah terbuka ni, I nak copy, ada 3 je copy paste dekat ni. Dekat chat I letak kat chat tu, kena letak kat mana? Dekat situ lah, dekat chat tu je I letak dekat chat ni. 1, 2 dekat chat. Sekejap, ada lagi 1. You all I ajar dia online ni kau faham ke tidak? Kan kau lost ni. Seriau
Ada lost juga doktor.
Lost tu tak mana? Tak ingat lah kau lost kat mana pun Dia kena baca balik lah nota dengan baca buku boleh ingat balik. Tu I ada letak tu, ada 3 artikel Lepas tu case for this week, I suruh cari tu. Mana tadi? Ke slide tadi Syami? Slide ni ke slide tadi? Slide tadi
Yang mana? Case mana?
Ya ada case 2019 ni. Utaya Kumar. Sekejap I letak kat chat.
Dah Doktor, yang 3 cases tu saya dah letak kat dalam team dah.
Okey. Tu nampak tu? Okey. Boleh. So far okey. Ada apa-apa lagi soalan tak? Hari tu yang siapa nama tanya tu I dah jawab. Lepas tu judgement note dengan judge note tu betul lah. Itu kita akan belajar masa bila tahu? Masa ni appeal. Kena apa dokumen yang dia kena ada tu semua masa appeal yang judge note semua tu. Yang dia kata Dr. Muzaffar ada sebut. Betul lah tu. Tetapi kita akan belajar later bila kita buat appeal. Okay, any questions so far? Siapa nak tanya soalan tak? So basically dia procedure dia tu dia kena ingat lah. Kalau macam sebab macam-macam prosedur yang sebut tadi tu. So basically you kena buka lah balik. Okay, buka balik notes kita ni. I ada upload. Cubalah you all komen-komen sikit dekat I punya tu rate lecture semua tu. Kau komen-komen je lah apa yang tu. Jadi kita punya goals tu aktif lah sikit. Halo.
Komen kat mana Doktor?
Komen lah apa benda ke yang I letak dekat goals tu kan macam-macam. Kau komen je lah apa-apa kat situ. Yang part yang boleh komen tu rate the lecture ke apa komen lah. Jadi aktif lah sikit I punya tu. I punya goals tu. Jadi I boleh lah dapat award lagi. Nanti I nak tunjuk sekejap You all tahu tak I dapat award ni pasal goals ni?
Tak tahu Doktor. Doktor dapat award siapa?
Tak tahu.
Okey, mari kita meriah sikit. Ni I dah letak dah nama case week ni. Pasal teaching
dah tahu.
Online. Semester 1 dulu I dapat award ni sekejap Mana ni? Mana? LNPT. So kalau you all komen-komen jadi dapatlah. Mana I punya gambar kategori pensyarah aktif. Kau nampak tak apa I share ni? Tak nampak
Tak nampak.
Okay, I share. Nampak? Nampak ni?
Nampak.
Nampak madam.
Nampak? Anugerah pembelajaran. Nampak tak?
Tahniah madam.
Nampak? Kategori pensyarah aktif. You all tahu I dapat berapa tak? I buat main-main je. I dapat RM150 rupanya voucher popular.
Okay, share madam, share.
Alah, dah share. Cepatlah kalau nak share. Kau pergilah komen-komen dekat I punya tu. Take part dekat I.
Share tu.
Ha?
Kita orang komen. Kalau madam share, kita orang komen.
Sorry kau. Sedang aku tengok. I belum tunjuk lagi gambar I. Nampak tak I scroll gambar I ni? Untuk FAM, okay. Untuk FKP. Nampak tu? Nampak tak?
Nampak.
Nampak tu.
Ustaz.
Wow.
Ustaz je ke dapat FSU?
Apa dia?
Untuk FSU 2 orang lecturer madam dengan Ustaz Said Salim je dapat.
See?
Oi, tahniah madam.
Okay, thank you. Ni masa I baru masuk. Semester 1 tau. Lepas kategori pensyarah aktif ni dapat RM150. Lepas tu yang I nak tunjuk ni. Kalau kategori khusus aktif. Kategori khusus aktif ni nampak dia dapat RM300 tau. Lepas tu ni khusus aktif 1, 2, 3, ya Allah 4. Ni kalau kursus inovatif, you know how much? Yang ni dapat RM350. Okay, so silalah activate apa-apa yang I letak dekat goals tu. Nanti I nak fikir macam mana nak bagikan dia menarik. Okay.
TikTok.
Apa dia?
TikTok.
Hey, sedangkan Menteri KPT buat TikTok pun dah kena
Kecap.
Itu dia, madam.
Dia buat ilmiah tu dia.
Ilmiah lah sangat. Malu lah tak nak TikTok. Dia orang kata tak boleh TikTok. Dr. Hazmi kata tak boleh TikTok. Dia kata tu agenda Yahudi, US, Donald Trump. So tak boleh TikTok.
Tak apa, gunakan untuk berdakwah tak apa.
Alah, malu lah nak TikTok. Korang ni tak senonoh dia nak suruh madam TikTok. Guna benda lain
Allah
lah.
faham madam, Allah faham.
Tak kuasa nak TikTok. Gunalah. Nanti I letak apa kat situ. Korang participate lah. Kalau rate the lecture kau tenyih je lah apa-apa yang I letak kat situ. Okay. Ada lagi soalan tak? Tak ada?
Tak ada.
Mestilah tak ada. Nak habis kelas cepat lah tu. Okay lah. So, I dah bagi ada 3 artikel dengan 3 ke 4 cases cari letak dekat sini. And I bagi soalan ni. I bagi soalan mid-sem. I bagi 2 minggu 2 minggu cukup kan?
Okay.
Okay, 2 minggu. And then end of this month tu our assignment and then don't forget to turn it in, okay? Alright?
Okay, doktor.
Kalau ada apa-apa soalan yang mendesak tu macam biasalah kan, korang pun boleh message lah. And siapa dalam group ITU Telege tu responnya dekat email ke dekat MS Team letak tu. Itu yang sebenarnya nak tanya. Siapa budak-budak ni group I ni? Aduh. Tu Telege ni. Ni siapa namanya ni?